This Irish backpacker has just returned to Sydney after a one-week trip to New Zealand, stating that the purpose of his short trip away was to renew the Australian tourist visa he has held for the last 3 months.
So what are your intentions for this particular trip to Australia?
Just to go from Sydney up the east coast.
Are you travelling with somebody else today?
Yeah.
How do you know that person?
Just dating.
Yeah? How long have you been in a relationship with this person?
2 years.
What sort of money do you have at your disposal for expenditure in Australia?
Around 7,000.
Okay, yeah.
Border Force is concerned that the large sum of money may have come from working without an appropriate visa. A bag search has uncovered a business card confirming the man's involvement with a TV dating show. Officers must now find out if this was work or play.
How did you find this work?
2 girls ran up to me on the street. That's me, look.
What exactly did you have to do?
That's kind of like a dating show, I guess. So yeah, you go on and you meet people and talk.
Going on a number of dates is not a concern for Border Force, as it's not a breach of his visa condition. It may, however, be a concern for someone else.
My girlfriend's gonna kill me.
All right, well, I won't pry into your personal life, okay?
What is concerning for Officer Tim are the text messages found hidden in the man's phone. A conversation with another woman confirms that he has been working.
Well, I don't know what my work is like this week, but definitely meet for an hour. That infers to me that you are actually working.
Yeah, I can understand why it sounds like that, but it's just an excuse that I can't meet up all the time, I guess.
The man won't admit to working and instead claims the messages are lies which he sent to get him out of meeting a woman. But the lies keep coming, as text messages to his girlfriend also refer to work.
You've said, I'm just finished work, and you've got, well, I'm working tomorrow, so that's good, okay? What can you tell me about these 2 text messages from this particular contact today? You are on a tourist visa during this time. You've said, I'm just finished work. I'm just going to ask, have you been engaging in any work during that time?
I may have engaged in a bit of work, a bit of extra work, but...
You're starting to hint at something else, another arrangement, and...
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Tell me what type of work it is that you've engaged in.
I just done a week's work of labouring.
Yeah? What was the arrangement? Where did you work?
So, okay, what happened was, I guess I'm supposed to tell you. We probably spent a little bit more than we were meant to. So I just said, oh look, I might as well just do a week of, it's like 8 days or something, I think, altogether, but...
What did you get in exchange for this work?
Money.
Work on your visa constitutes a breach of condition. Now, is there any evidence that we may find that will suggest that you've returned to engage in further work?
This one is 100% tourism. Let me just spend all these money as I country and let me go.
The passenger is given a chance to explain his intentions, but he thinks the best way to plead his case is by being cocky.
Let me in, please. I can give you a call when I leave.
His confident attitude might usually get him out of trouble, but he's in for a rude shock when he hears Officer Tim's final decision.
After weighing up all the information available to me, I was satisfied that the grounds for cancelling your visa outweigh the reasons for not cancelling. Therefore, your visa has been cancelled and you will be refused immigration clearance. You will be detained and removed from Australia as an unlawful non-citizen.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Okay, I know he's made his decision and all that, but I just think it's the wrong one.
Okay, how long are you planning to stay in Australia? I don't know really the time.
So you're not aware of how long you wish to stay in Australia?
Depend of my budget.
So tell me a little bit about what you're here for. Do you have any intended activities whilst you're in Australia?
I really want to improve my English, so just spend time with English people or travelers and speak English again and again.
Have you been in any contact with anybody in Australia?
When?
Prior to coming to Australia, have you been in touch with anybody?
No.
Okay, so nobody knows that you are coming to Australia.
No.
Do you know anybody in Australia?
No.
The woman is acting coy about having contacts in Australia. So officers check her phone for information, and suspicions are immediately raised by what they find.
What my main concern is that she's denying that she's got anybody that's here to meet her, nor is she planning to see anybody while she's in the country. Right. Now, that contrasts with some of the text messages that we've found on her mobile phone, which I'm still yet to put to her. But to me, it appears that she's been quite hesitant to disclose what her true intentions are for what she's here to do while she's in the country. Listen, I'm going to be upfront with you. I've got some concerns about your travel to Australia. So can I ask you, do you be looking at any jobs here in Australia?
No, because I know I can't with my tourist visa.
This is emails that were found on your mobile phone. And the information on it clearly depicts that you may be here for other reasons other than tourism purposes.
Yeah.
Have you made contact with anybody about intended activities whilst you're in Australia?
Yeah, maybe doing some woofing.
The unusual term woofing refers to willing workers on organic farms, which is a specific type of volunteer work that is allowed on a tourist visa.
So, who is this person that you've been emailing?
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth?
To be a valid woofer, travellers must agree to do 4 to 6 hours of gardening or farming work in exchange for a day's food and accommodation.
What's your understanding of woofing?
To spend time with family and get free accommodation and free food, but for that you need to work for them.
Okay, and what type of work would you be doing for them?
Maybe take care of kids.
Okay, because what my concern is that the activities that are listed on these emails are not necessarily activities which would constitute woofing in Australia. Go bike riding, walk the dog, or walk on beach, skateboarding, play games. These types of activities are indicative of what someone who is doing nanny or au pair work would be doing.
Yeah.
Are you aware of that?
Au pair, yeah, it's like an au pair, yeah.
So will you receive accommodation in return?
Accommodation, yeah.
Are you also...
And food.
And food.
Like
Okay, I'm just going to step out and have a chat to my colleagues and I'll be back with you.
It is possible that this French nanny has misunderstood the rules regarding work while travelling on a tourist visa.
I think Celine may have the wrong interpretation of what woofing is. A lot of people think woofing is just working for free, but they don't understand that it needs to be on a particular farm that meets the requirements of woofing.
Is there anything you'd like to say, anything you'd like to provide, any reasons? Yeah?
If you still trust in me, I will be ready to forget this plan to doing au pair and just staying in woofing place. Like it's the main thing for me to speak English very well when I live. That's why I was planned to doing that. So, voilà.
Okay.
I understood that au pair it's not, it didn't work with my visa.
It's obvious that Celine hasn't done her homework before visiting Australia, and she's not here to woof. So Officer Phil must now decide if she can cross the border as a genuine tourist.
Okay, after weighing up all the information available to me and in consideration with your response, I was satisfied that there are grounds for cancelling your visa. That means that your visa has been cancelled today. As your visa has been cancelled, okay, you have been refused immigration clearance into Australia.
Okay.
Okay. Now, this also means that you may be detained and removed from Australia as an unlawful non-citizen under Section 189 of the Migration Act 1958.
I have to leave.
Yeah, okay, which means that we will need to make the arrangements for you to travel to a destination where you will be permitted entry. It was quite clear she had an intention to arrive in Australia to conduct au pair, or also known as nanny work. And it takes away potential employment opportunities to those who are actually entitled to it.
And so you've just returned from Thailand today?
Yes.
Okay. So you were supposed to go back to school last week?
Yeah.
So when were you planning on attending school?
Just next Friday.
Okay.
Officers are concerned that she may have breached the conditions of her student visa whilst studying patisserie at a culinary school.
How many days a week do you
2
attend
days.
school? 2 days a week. And so what actual classes are you taking at the moment? Do you know the names of them?
I'm not sure because every week new students arrive, so they change. It's a bit different way to teach.
It's odd that she doesn't know which subject she's doing. So Border Force have now contacted the school to shed some light on her academic record.
The school actually reported that you had unsatisfactory course progress. Have you been going to all the classes or have you been
Not
missing
all-
any?
Well, I'm not the best student, but I've been going almost every week. So
Okay, so you can't understand why they would say there's unsatisfactory course progress?
no, it doesn't make sense.
You haven't failed any subjects?
Well, they don't have really subjects. They are like assessments,
Okay.
but they don't have dates for the assessment. So if I don't do it, I don't have my certificate.
Okay.
Unsatisfactory course progress is considered a breach of the conditions of a student visa. So officers have searched the woman's phone for other incriminating evidence.
Okay. Hi, so you went through the phone. Did you find any message that suggested that she was going to school? Like, I can't talk now, I've got to go to school. Oh, okay. Do you know who she sent those messages to by any chance?
If information is found to show that she's not attending, it could lead to the cancellation of her visa.
My colleagues told me there's some messages in sent mail saying I don't have to go to school anymore, saying I spoke to my teacher at school today and I can cancel my course whenever I want. So then it would be up to you if you want me working full-time straight away or in the future. She's supposed to be here to be studying. That's the actual purpose of the visa. That doesn't look good for her if she's saying that she can cancel her course at any time when, as a student, you always have to hold enrolment. I'm going to have to call the school and see if what you're telling me is the same as what they're saying. Because they only put this on here on the 24th, so only 3 days ago, saying it's unsatisfactory course progress.
Okay.
Okay, so interview is suspended at 11:11 a.m.
If the school confirms that she's failing to complete her studies, she will no longer hold enrolment and her visa may be cancelled.
I actually just have some questions about one of your students. You reported this person, Patricia, for unsatisfactory course progress. She's disputing that, stating that she's actually been going to school. Okay.
The young Brazilian might think she can just turn up to class to keep her student visa, but in order to comply, she must complete the coursework.
Okay, well, you've been more than helpful. Thank you very much. Okay, thanks, bye. So they're saying that she has been attending, but she hasn't been doing any of the assessments. So that's why they've reported her for unsatisfactory course progress. It's not looking good for her right now. You can't just keep going to school without actually doing any of the assignments. So I spoke to the school and they stated that although you have been attending your practical sometimes,
Yeah.
you haven't done any assessments except for one at the very beginning of the course.
I did more. I did like 4 or 5.
While she continues to disagree with the school's report, some new information has now come to light, and it could change her outcome.
You have a boyfriend here in Australia?
Yes.
And what's his name?
Damien,
Okay, and how long have you been together?
10 months, 11.
Do you live together?
Yes.
Does he support you?
Yeah. Like, he pay his own house.
Okay, so what I'll do now is I'll go out and call your boyfriend and let him know you're here, and then I'll come back in here.
Okay.
Okay?
Significant relationships are one of the factors that Border Force must consider when contemplating the cancellation of a visa.
Hi, is this Damien? Hi, my name's Belinda. I'm calling from immigration here at Melbourne Airport. How are you going? Are you waiting for somebody today? Okay, and what's your relationship with Patricia?
The gravity of the situation has just hit Patricia, and she's now worried about what the visa cancellation would mean for her relationship.
I'm nervous that maybe they cancel and then I can't see him anymore. We met in October last year, and then we lived together since we met. So it was love at first sight, like he means a lot to me. But I don't know. Let's see what happens.
Her partner Damien, he's an Australian citizen, and I spoke to him and confirmed that and checked on our records. And so we will take that into consideration and any disadvantages that might arise if we cancel her visa today.
We have a life together, we have plans together, and if I have to leave now, we probably won't be together anymore.
The boyfriend, yeah, we can take that into account in the decision, but I don't think that's going to be enough to sway the decision in her favour.
After considering all of the circumstances, a decision has now been made.
After weighing up all of the information available to me, I was satisfied that the grounds for cancelling your visa outweighed the reasons for not cancelling, and your visa has been cancelled. As your visa has been cancelled, you're being refused immigration clearance. I'm detaining you under Section 189 of the Migration Act 1958, and you'll be removed from Australia as an unlawful non-citizen.
Can I see my boyfriend?
He can visit you at the detention centre, yes. Are you able to sign this to say that I've provided you with this information? Okay, so you understand what's happened?
Well,
Okay. Did you want to call your boyfriend? Okay, and...
Officers sometimes encounter difficult emotional circumstances, but ultimately the decisions that they make must be guided by Australian immigration law.
When you look at legislation, it states that you must hold enrolment. She doesn't hold enrolment, really, the bottom line. So we really had no choice but to go ahead and cancel the visa.
I can't believe they're doing this to me. I can't believe it. It's just like, no.
I can see why she's upset. She thought she'd just be walking out the door and see her boyfriend outside, and he just thought she was running late. So, yeah, it is hard.
It's 5:30 a.m. and the Australian Border Force compliance team has travelled 4 hours north of Adelaide to carry out an operation at a nearby residence.
You're at the rear of the property, Shane, you're on the side. We're about to execute a warrant in Whyalla. So this is a region of South Australia. This morning we're looking at persons of interest that we believe to be working in the restaurant industry. We'll try and get in as quickly as we can, guys. We shouldn't be up and about moving at the moment.
A large team of officers walked a short distance to the property, making every effort not to alert the persons of interest to their presence.
These operations, we never know what we're going to get. There's always the potential that they could try and hide or try and abscond if they get the opportunity.
As they reach the residence, some of the team head to the rear of the property to make sure no one attempts to escape out the back. There are lights on inside, and with all the exits covered, officers make their move.
Australian Border Force, immigration, open the door, please.
Lights are on, but it seems no one wants to be home.
Australian Border Force, immigration, open the door, please.
In
intelligence indicates the occupants are working here illegally at a local noodle shop. And after a tense wait, a woman finally opens the door.
Hello, good morning. My name's Dan. I'm from the Australian Border Force, immigration. We have a search warrant. Can you open the door for me, please? Here's my ID.
They enter the dark, cramped house and officers quickly search for other occupants.
Can I just open the way? Sorry.
Yeah, sure.
A full sweep of the property inside and out locates a male in a bedroom who is escorted into the lounge room.
Do you guys have passports?
Yeah.
So you're husband and wife?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long you lived here for?
You mean Australia or here?
Whyalla, yeah.
Whyalla, 6 months.
Okay.
Yep.
What sort of work are you guys doing down here?
The noodle sushi bar.
Okay.
With confirmation that they are working locally, a call is made back to base to verify their identity.
Date of birth 4th of December.
While the couple tells Officer Dan that they are unsure of their visa status.
Do you have visas?
We applied the protection visa.
Yeah. So you applied for that?
Yeah.
And you used a migration agent?
Yeah.
Yeah, registered migration agent?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
The woman claims they were never told if their protection visa had been granted or not.
Well, we'll do some checks and see what our system tells us. But from the checks that I've done previously, okay, I believe you don't have a visa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Officer Dan suspects the couple know they are unlawful.
They appear to not be aware of their immigration status, but I'm not really sure about that. They're fully compliant and admitted to working in the noodle shop industry and restaurant industry throughout Australia, so not just in South Australia, but Queensland as well.
The woman says they applied for a protection visa a few months ago, but they were unsure if it was granted. So, while officers confirmed their visa status, the couple are questioned further about their onshore activities.
What's your job at the noodle shop? What do you do?
Cashier.
Cashier.
And this
Cook?
is chef, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
At what time do you start and finish?
9 until 10 or 11, like.
At night?
Yeah.
Yeah. Every day? 7 days a week?
Long days.
Yeah. Well, how much do you get paid per hour?
$15 per hour.
$15 per hour.
They are working long days and earning good money, but their luck may have just run out.
Yeah.
So May and Yong, we've done some checks on our systems, okay? And it shows that your protection visas that you applied for were refused quite some time ago. So not 3 months ago. So if you spoke to your migration agent 3 months ago and he didn't tell you, then there's some problem, okay? Because your visa was refused a long time ago.
After verifying this husband and wife do not hold current visas and were in breach of their previous visa conditions, a formal interview will now be conducted. But it's likely that the couple will be placed in immigration detention.
They're working 7 days a week, more than 12 hours a day, at $15 an hour. That's a lot of money when you're not paying tax.
It's a serious breach of the Migration Act, but the woman is hoping officers will allow them to remain in Australia.
We need to earn some money for our family. Yeah, no choice. Need some money.
So we've done a check of the systems. It appears that you don't hold a visa, as we've already discussed with you. For that reason, we're detaining you now under Section 189 of the Migration Act. Do you understand now that you hold no visa?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
The woman admits that the only reason they came here was to work.
I come to Australia because I need to earn more money. Yeah, because Malaysia is very hard to get job. So it's very sad if need to go back Malaysia because it's better life here. Yeah.
The couple have been compliant and very forthcoming with information, but it will have no bearing on their future in Australia. They are detained, taken into custody.
It's obviously disappointing for them. They come to Australia to try and seek a better future and a bit more money than what they can earn back home. And that's what draws illegal workers to Australia. And unfortunately, that's the way it goes. There is a visa framework that allows people to come to Australia from overseas to work, and these people are circumventing that visa framework, and we can't tolerate that.
Where do you know your friend from?
From Brazil.
How though?
You live near my...
He lives near you?
My wife.
Lives near your wife's?
My wife, mother.
He lives near your wife's mother's house?
Yeah.
James, ask him where they met.
Using a translation program, the other man is asked how he knows his fellow passenger. And his response sets alarm bells ringing.
So they've never met and they've just met at the airport, first time ever.
Unsure why they have conflicting stories, officers continue to question the men to try to work out what is going on.
¿Qué pasó in Australia? What are you doing here?
I like Australia. It's beautiful.
Yeah, but what are you going to do? What do you want to do? What do you want to see?
It's beautiful. Florida. I went to...
Are you working here?
No.
No work at all?
The man insists he is simply here for a 45-day holiday, but he has no travel plans, no itinerary, and both men have only booked accommodation for the next 3 days.
Hablo español.
Manutenção em computer.
Un computer attenzione.
Suspecting these men may be coming here to work illegally, they will now be taken to a private interview room for further questioning.
People want to have a talk to you about why you're here, okay?
They will not be allowed to cross the border until officers find out exactly what they are up to. Both men will now be formally interviewed. Officer Laura will question this man, Armstrong, who claims he is simply here for a 45-day holiday.
So why did you choose to come and visit Australia?
Eu pretendo conhecer alguns lugares.
I was wishing to visit the Opera House and walk in the parks and things like that.
Why have you come without your wife?
Desta vez não deu para ela vir.
This time she could not come with me because of her work.
He has no travel plans and has booked a hotel for only the next 3 nights. And Officer Laura is wondering how the man will support himself for the next 45 days.
Do you know anyone in Australia?
Sim.
Yes.
Who do you know?
Ivan.
She is surprised when the man reveals he has a friend on shore, living in Sydney.
Can you confirm how long you've known Ivan for?
Não me lembro bem quantos anos.
I don't remember well, but approximately for 15 years I've known him.
Ele ficou sabendo que eu estava...
Because he knew I was coming to travel in Australia and through his family in Brazil, he contacted me.
If his onshore contact can verify that he is here as a genuine tourist, he may be allowed to enter the country. So Supervising Officer Phil gives Ivan a call.
Yeah, are you aware of anybody that's arriving into Sydney?
But immediately there is a problem.
Oh, okay. Do you know his name? So you don't know his name? So you actually don't know his name. Do you know his first name at least?
But Ivan doesn't seem to know a few crucial details about the passenger.
Ivan wasn't able to give us the name of the traveller. Okay, he doesn't know his name. He couldn't even give me a nickname or a colloquial name or any other identifier. He says he simply does not know his name. He claims that he met him in 2015 to 2016 when he travelled to Brazil, and he met him in the passenger's hometown. Now, he advised that, yeah, he's happy to help him, but he doesn't really know, nor can he guarantee that he's here for tourism purposes.
With so many inconsistencies in the passenger's story, Officer Laura has little choice but to take the next step.
I've made out this form for you, and it's a notice of intention to consider cancellation of your visa. When viewed collectively, the lack of details regarding your planned tourism onshore, your limited funds for this trip, And the inconsistencies between your statements and your onshore contact are of concerns.
Border Force officers strongly suspect these two Brazilian men are not coming here for a holiday as they claim. They have both been issued with a notice of intention to consider cancelling their visas, and this passenger, Armstrong, has a final chance to plead his case.
Sobre o que ela falou
Regarding coming here to see Australia, if I'm not allowed to stay here, it's really going to affect me a lot because I spend a lot of money and there was my dream to come and get to know Australia.
His response fails to address the many contradictions in his story, and Officer Laura informs the passenger of her final decision.
After weighing up all of the information available to me, I was satisfied that grounds for cancelling your visa outweigh the reasons for not cancelling. And my decision is to cancel your visa.
His so-called dream holiday in Australia is over before it began.
Although he tried to pull his story together, he tried to give the right information about a trip to Australia, it really didn't make sense, and I'm sure that I made the right decision because I don't think he's a genuine visitor.